This is the Ninja AF150AMZ air fryer, extra large. It turns out crisp food that tastes fried, without leaving a greasy mess or taking over the whole evening. I put this in the category of countertop air fryers, the basket-style kind. It is best for someone who cooks for a couple of people up to a small family, or anyone who meal preps on a Sunday and wants reliable, repeatable results during the week. If you like the texture of fried food but want less oil, or you want a faster alternative to the full-size oven for everyday dinners, this fits right in. The design is straightforward in all the good ways. The basket is a real 5.5 quart capacity. In practical terms, that means I can do a full pound of fries in one batch without crowding, or a small whole chicken around 4 pounds if I truss it tight, or a full tray of vegetables for 2 plates. The basket slides smoothly, the handle stays cool, and the crisper plate lifts out so I can rinse off the oil that drips down. The finish is glossy, which looks clean when it is wiped down, and it does not feel flimsy. It takes up some space, but the footprint is reasonable for how much it cooks. It fits under my upper cabinets without scraping. The vents are at the back, so I leave a little room behind it so steam does not fog the wall. Little details like the rubber feet keep it from walking on the counter when the fan is going. There is no window to peek inside, which would be nice, but pulling the basket to check on food is quick and does not reset the cook. Setup is as simple as washing the basket and crisper plate and running a short cycle empty to burn off the factory smell. On my first run, I caught a faint new appliance smell, and it disappeared after that. The controls are dead simple. There are dedicated buttons for air fry, roast, bake, reheat, and dehydrate. Temperature and time bump up and down with responsive taps. The screen is bright and easy to read from a few feet away. It heats quickly. By the time I season chicken thighs, it is ready to go. Most days I skip a formal preheat and still get crispy edges. When I do preheat for a minute or two, it gives a little extra snap to things like breaded cutlets. Performance is where it has earned a permanent spot on my counter. Heat is strong and consistent. I checked it with an oven thermometer, and it tracked within about 5 to 10 degrees Fahrenheit of the set temperature, which is good for a countertop unit. The fan moves air evenly across the basket. Food browns in a balanced way, especially if I give the basket a shake halfway through. Moisture management is solid. Chicken skin renders and crackles while the meat stays juicy. Vegetables get that deep golden edge without shriveling into chips. Frozen foods go from icy to crisp without sogginess. It runs with a steady whoosh that is easy to talk over. It is not silent, but it does not take over the room. I have not had smoke issues as long as I pat things dry and avoid too much oil pooling on the bottom. On real meals, the time savings feels meaningful. A tray of Brussels sprouts tossed with a little olive oil and salt hits that sweet spot at around 10 to 12 minutes, and they come out tender with caramelized edges. Frozen shoestring fries take around 15 minutes and do not need more than a light spray of oil. Fresh chicken wings, lightly seasoned, finish in about 22 minutes, with blistered skin and clear fat rendered into the tray below. Salmon fillets, brushed with a soy and honey mix, cook in about 10 minutes depending on thickness. If I want a bit more char, I bump the temperature for the final 2 minutes. Leftover pizza slices come back to life in 3 or 4 minutes and the crust gets crisp again, instead of rubbery like it often does in a microwave. My go-to-use case on a busy weeknight is chicken thighs with potatoes. I salt the chicken and toss baby potatoes with a little oil, garlic powder, and black pepper. Potatoes go in first to get a head start for about 8 minutes. I shake them, lay the chicken on top, and continue until the skin is deeply browned and the juices run clear. It is a one-basket dinner. The potatoes soak up a little chicken fat and get glorious crisp edges. The chicken stays moist. I do not babysit it, and I do not have to heat my full-size oven. Another routine is meal prep. I roast a big batch of vegetables on Sunday. Broccoli florets, carrots, and onions take turns in the basket. They cook faster than in the oven and pick up that roasted flavor. During the week, they reheat well in the reheat mode. I also use it for snacks. Homemade tortilla chips, cut from corn tortillas with a light brush of oil, crisp up in about 8 minutes. Apple slices in dehydrate mode turn into chewy chips. Dehydrating is slow by nature, so it takes a few hours at low heat, but it is hands-off and the results are clean and tasty. I have done kale chips with a sprinkle of nutritional yeast, and they turn out delicate and light if I keep the temperature on the lower side to avoid scorching. Reheating is an underrated strength here. Cold fried chicken regains snap without drying out if I reheat at a moderate temperature for about 7 to 10 minutes. Leftover fries from takeout get revived. Baked goods like day-old croissants refresh in a few minutes and come out flaky again. I use the reheat mode often enough that it has replaced the microwave for many foods. The microwave still wins for soup, but for anything that should be crisp, this is better. A few smart touches make the experience easier. Pulling the basket pauses the cook automatically and it resumes when I slide it back in. That makes it simple to shake or check for doneness without fussing with buttons. The presets are actually useful starting points. Air fry runs hotter for crisp texture. Roast is more even and gentle for proteins and vegetables. Bake leans lower and steadier for things like banana bread or muffins in a small pan. Reheat drops the intensity to warm without scorching, and dehydrate holds a low temperature for a long time. The range from low dehydrating temperatures up to 400 degrees Fahrenheit gives a lot of flexibility. Cleanup is the best part at the end of a long day. The basket and crisper plate are non-stick and dishwasher safe. Most of the time, a quick rinse and a soft sponge wipe are enough. I avoid metal utensils so the coating stays smooth. It is not perfect. The glossy exterior shows smudges, so I find myself wiping it with a microfiber cloth more than I expected. The basket coating has held up for me, but it will scratch if you go at it with metal tongs, so silicone or wood utensils are the move. There is no interior light, so I rely on pulling the basket to check the color. The beeps are fixed at 1 volume. They are not loud, but I wish I could adjust them. The dehydrate mode works, but it ties up the machine for hours, so I plan it on days when I am not cooking anything else. If you often cook for a large family, or you want to cook 2 separate foods at once, a bigger double basket model or an oven-style air fryer may be a better fit. Even with those small gripes, the day-to-day value is clear. It saves time, it makes less mess than a skillet of oil, and it delivers a crisp texture that hits the spot. I use less oil than pan frying. A teaspoon or 2 is usually enough to get a golden result. It handles a wide mix of tasks, from quick weeknight dinners to snack experiments to reviving leftovers that would otherwise be soggy. It has been consistent and predictable, which matters more to me than chasing a spec sheet. If you are cooking for yourself or a small family and you want a dependable, straightforward air fryer that heats quickly, cleans easily, and gives you that crispy bite without the hassle, the Ninja AF150AMZ air fryer, extra large, is easy to recommend. If you already own a big oven-style air fryer and you rely on multi-rack cooking, this will feel more limited. For most kitchens, though, it strikes a smart balance of capacity and simplicity. If you found this video helpful, please subscribe to the channel and leave a comment with your questions or your own experiences. Thank you for watching.